Man, wouldn't it be awesome for the military to be equipped with wheels and jets on their legs to move at the speed of a Ferrari to quickly take down their enemy? Wouldn't it even be more awesome to slow down time to take down an enemy more quickly before they hit you? Yeah, those would all be really awesome. However, I'm pretty sure we're about over hundreds of years away before we ever captured that type of science. But wouldn't you know it? There is a brand new game coming out with all those scientific aspects that are all in place. So I present to you my impressions to the demo of Platinum Games' next hit, Vanquish.
Vanquish is a sci-fi third-person shooter by Sega with speed and time physics in the gameplay, and it is officially directed and headed up by Resident Evil creator Shinji Mikami from Platinum Games. I have played the demo, but isn't any good. Does it look like Mikami can win over Gears of War over the gameplay mechanics they used in which Mikami created for Resident Evil 4? Well, let us sit down and take a look at this demo and see if it's worth your time. From what is known about the story, the United States and Russia are at each other's throats to see who owns the world's fast depletion energy source, and the US has constructed a space station to harness energy from the sun. However, the Russians attack the US space station, take it for themselves, and harness its energy into a destructive beam that destroys San Francisco. Russia's next course of action is to destroy New York with the same blast, but the US forces retaliate by trying to take back their space station before destruction of New York becomes imminent. In Vanquish, you play as a government operative named Sam Gideon who must help the US take back their space station before the Russians destroy New York. There is only one level in a tutorial section in the game, so let us take a look at the tutorial and see its controls. Well, as you can see, there are two types of controls to show which you prefer with your aiming and shooting on the shoulder buttons, mostly, while everything else seems to be intact in the same place. You could do all sorts of things like shooting down robots, tearing apart doors, looking around with your camera, and use the actuators on your battlesuit to speed up your movements and to slow down time to take enemies down more quickly. They are very solid from when I was playing it, so I have no problems with the gameplay whatsoever. Now let us delve into the level you play in. From what we see, you are on Act 1, Mission 3, and the name of the level is called Giant. And from what I know, this is actually a prequel to the game's main story. You control Sam through this mission, and you have a Lieutenant Colonel by the name of Robert Burns helping you out, as well as some of your own kind. You get help from a combat operator by the name of Elena Ivanova who gives you updates on what to expect on the battlefield. From playing this level, it seems to be more about taking down a mass swarm of the opposing forces to complete the level, and you can use an assortment of guns and walking battle tanks to fight back. From playing this demo, it has a really unique and arcade feel that Platinum Games has really been hitting for the past 2 years. At the end, there will be a boss that starts off as a huge battle droid and then changes into a large fighting robot. Jeez, when did Transformers come into this part of the future? That would be awesome if humans in the Transformers franchise could take down Decepticons like you take down this bad boy. When looking at the demo, the characters are all sporting futuristic uniforms, whereas Gideon has on a battlesuit that is all high-tech. Even the level looks very shiny with what a space station should look like if you are familiar with the space fantasy phenomenon like Star Trek and Star Wars. It has proper lighting and shadows to refrain your eyes from getting really damaged from the intensity of those aspects. So I must say that the characters, enemies, weapons, and the level have a really high amount of polish. It would come as no surprise that Mikami's lead platform was the PlayStation 3 to achieve this high amount of quality. Mikami even stated that the graphics were inspired by the Japanese anime Castlevania in the 1970s, and rightfully so. While I am a fan of video game soundtracks, I thought the music in Vanquish was pulled off nicely with its futuristic sounds for a space shooter. Too bad that there isn't a trace of orchestra in the demo, but maybe there will be in the full version. Who knows? The sound effects are pretty decent with just about anything with the guns, the booster jets, human grunts, robotics, and all. With games developed by Platinum Games, especially under Shinji Mikami and Hideki Kamiya's guidance, the voice acting is always slated to be top-notch with their brand. From what I know, Sam Gideon is played by Gideon Emery, who is famous for his Balthier in Final Fantasy XII, Stephen Bloom plays the Lieutenant Colonel Robert Burns, and I am fairly certain that Kari Walgren plays Elena Ivanova, the operator. Who would have thunk that the main character and the main voiceover had the same first and last name? Pretty cool if you think about it. With heavy combat, stylish action, solid gameplay, and unique mechanics in terms of speed and time, Vanquish looks like it'll definitely surpass Gears of War, and it needs to. I haven't been a fan of many games that are set in the future, but Shinji Mikami makes me a believer that Vanquish will prove to be a solid title in that setting. By this October 16th, be sure to have $60 in hand and pick up this title for the 360 or the PS3. You will definitely get your money's worth for this one.
Rather go all out than bother with defense. Time to hit hard and make him regret it.